Gonna be another Raid Shadow Legends video, and we're gonna take another look at Acrizia, but this time we're gonna look at her in Hydra, because I think this is actually gonna be her strongest spot in this game. I mean, obviously insanely good for Demon Lord Clan Boss, but for Hydra is where I really think she's gonna shine the most for people, because one, she's void. That means no affinity problems, no matter who you're facing. Two, that max HP hit on all of her attacks is insanely good for being able to free your champions and just do damage, right? Kill the boss. So important to be able to do that and as quickly as possible. And three, her passive ability with that decreased damage from AoE hits is massive. That is such a strong ability for her. It's going to help keep her alive so much better than it would normally. And so I'm really excited to be able to utilize her for this and just kind of see how she works overall. So that's the goal today. That's what we're going to be looking at right now, and see how that goes. Now I'm going to bring her into my Clan Boss team, my Hydra team, right? It works, you know, I do brutal. I'm not crazy about Hydra. I don't push it super far, and honestly there's been a bit of a learning curve as far as how to, you know, attack it best, but I think Acrizia is going to be an excellent substitution for this team. A really good choice instead of a Royal Guard or a Husk, or even in addition to them. So I'm going to be bringing her into that team. It's probably a little higher end than maybe some of you guys can do out there. That's okay. You can still take what I'm talking about with Acrizia and apply it to your team, because no matter what team you're bringing in, you still need those big damage dealing champions to actually take down the boss. And we're going to be able to see how she's going to fit into that team and how you're going to be able to utilize her for your squad accordingly. So that's the plan for today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the champion. I really appreciate you coming by to watch this video. And if you enjoy it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And of course, if you enjoyed today's music, we have that Soundstripe link down below in the pinned comment description of this video, along with my code DeadwoodJedi to save yourself 15%. And of course, if you're looking for account work, you can find that on my website, deadwoodjedi.com. So this is Acrizia, right? And let's first start off by talking about her skills. I've covered this in a previous video, but I want to make sure that you guys can see everything that's going on here. And it really starts with the passive. When enemies have more than double this champion's max HP, this champion's attacks will deal damage based on the target's max HP. Well, all the Hydra champions have more than double her HP. So we're going to be able to get max HP hits off of all of her attacks. That's insanely strong. And then on top of that, decreases damage taken from AoE attacks by 50%, which means it's going to be so much easier to gear her out. This is probably the one champion I can bring in where I don't need ally protection to keep her alive, right? I can build her with a bunch of other tanky champions around her, and she'll still be able to survive because of those AoE hits. The things we have to watch out for, though, are the single target hits that do come from like heads like the Mischief, or from the one that does all the healing, right? Those are the two that really do single target hits that we really have to be careful about. There's a couple others that can do that too, so there's definitely some leeway here as far as keeping her alive, but I feel like in general, she's going to stay pretty healthy as a result. Her A1 has a decreased defense debuff, and it will increase damage over time. Her A2 gives her a shield, which should be equal to her max HP. So building her with HP won't be bad to give her a little bit more survivability. And then her A3 steals turn meter. That's obviously not going to apply here. She does have a nice crit rate aura as well that I am going to be utilizing in this build because of the unique team that I'm bringing with Krisk here. So I think she's pretty good. Now, mastery-wise, I went down the defensive tree and the offensive tree. It's a pretty traditional, I would say, Hydra build, right? I went defense to help mitigate as much damage, and down here to Cycle of Revenge, get more turn meter, and then offensive tree down to War Master. Nothing really crazy about it, but I think it should suit us very well. I should go over her total stats. I do have her, I should notice this, I have her in Stalwart gear. One Stalwart set and one crit damage set. I want her crit damage high, obviously, to deal damage, but I put her in Stalwart gear to help accentuate that damage mitigation she has. I don't think that's the only way to go with this. There's actually plenty of different sets you could use, but I like this one. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it works. You can see 240 speed, that's kind of where we want to be, right? I had no accuracy, no resistance. I'm not relying on her for any of that stuff, though you could easily build her with resistance because, again, you don't really need damage stats with her. I do have HP, 55,000, a solid number for sure. Only 2,300 defense, so it's very low on that scale, but I'm thinking with the damage mitigation, it shouldn't be a problem. And then 3,000 attack, which obviously doesn't matter at all. So I'd do without it if I could. And so that's how I have her built. So if we look at the team we have, I've got Acrizia here, going to be my lead for that crit rate aura. Now, I didn't adjust anybody else for it, but it will help her be at 100% crit rate. We've also got Krisk in here, who's insanely good, obviously. It's really hard to have a really successful team without him, I find, but he's very, very good. We've also got Bivald the Thorn, who's an insane champion for the Provoke. Absolutely love him for that, honestly. We've got Rector Drath in here as well, keeping us alive for the Torment Head, right? Ugo, and provides healing. Ugo's in here for the block buffs, obviously. And then we've got Geomancer as well with the HP burn. Now, this is not a team I can full auto with, right? I do have to manual a bunch of this stuff, but this is a team we're going to try to bring in here and see how it does. So this is a team that I typically will one key brutal with, and I'll usually have a Royal Guard or a Husk instead of a Acrizia in here. So we're going to just kind of see how we go about doing things. Obviously, I have the manual, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but that's Hydra for you. There we go. So we got the Provoke here with Krisk, right? We can let her go ahead and get some shields out there. I kind of want to, yeah, we can just go ahead and do it. Why not? Boom, big hits. I mean, that's without decreased defense, and I'd say pretty impressive generally. Then we're going to get the decreased defense and the block buffs out there. There we go. Perfect, just what we're looking for. And this should be pretty good, I would say, here. So this is the team. We're gonna see how it goes. Obviously, we should be able to keep Provoke up full time with Bivald and Krisk. They usually can do a pretty good job of that. You can see the big damage here. Boom. 300,000 single hit is still massive damage there. I love that. There goes Bivald putting out his Provoke, and Krisk with the extension of all the buffs. Insane champions, insane abilities. Absolutely love this. We're gonna see how much damage we can do. I think we should be able to get to a one key brutal team, and we are on brutal. I should clarify that. Still on the test server as well, but yeah, we should be able to get one key brutal, I think, pretty solidly here with this team. Now obviously this guy's annoying, so we're gonna have to take that off. There's a counterattack coming out from Acrizia, or I guess that's off the Provoke, I should say. Oh, it's counterattack. There you go. And we can come here, see how damage she does. 127,000. Pretty solid for an A1 ability, I would say. And cleanse all this. Keep things going here. So we just need to get that Provoke kind of going again. That's a problem. Unless Chris can do something about it. Get the speed. Hopefully that'll do the job. Maybe not, though. It's always a little bit tricky, right? Trying to keep those debuffs up as much as possible. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Yeah, and here we go. We can get a big hit. You can see we lost about half our health because of that reflect damage. That's definitely a problem, but we did get a nice little shield out of it. So not the worst thing in the world for sure. And then we can go ahead and reapply those debuffs. Perfect. Oop. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and manual this for a little bit here. And we're just going to kind of see how we do at the end. As you can see, she does really good damage, right? We do have to be careful about that reflect damage. That's going to be important. She will kill herself otherwise. So that's definitely something we need to monitor as we go through with this. But in general, I would say she's an incredibly good damage dealer, doing over 100,000 damage per hit. Popping people out shouldn't be a problem when they get swallowed. And with one more damage dealer like Geomancer in here, I think the two of them should do a great job of keeping everybody alive, which is pretty phenomenal. So that's the goal here. We're going to see how this all works out, and yeah, we'll come back towards the end. We'll maybe speed up a little bit of this, and you guys can see bits and pieces as they're important. Otherwise, yeah, I'll catch you guys at the end. All right, we're getting to the end of this. Chris just got eaten, and I figured I could talk a little bit about what I've noticed since while running this. I mean, it's been, you know, a 46-minute run. It's not easy. I'm not showing the whole thing. But one of the things I've noticed with Acrizia is that she is extremely good. Like every hit does like crazy amounts of damage. She can easily take down all these heads pretty much individually, and when someone gets eaten, like 1 or 2 hits from her will absolutely wipe them out and free them from you. So I find her to be incredibly good when it comes to when it comes to freeing your team. Even, I mean, we're gonna see like there's a shield there, guy's been eaten. If we get another chance, you're gonna see her absolutely demolish that shield. Maybe not enough to absolutely free our ally out of this, but we should be able to see right here, even this one hit does pretty solid good damage. Now that's the toughest head to go against. The head of, I can't remember which one it is, but what it's called, but it's pretty tough. But she does a pretty good job of taking it down. Obviously that wasn't a great showcase of it, but you know, the idea is that she is very good at what she does. Easily the best damage dealer for this, better than Geomancer in my opinion. Not the passive kind of healing, but the fact that I don't need to build damage stats on her means I can build her tanky, I can build her with resistance, and in hindsight I definitely would have built her with some accuracy. I think that would have helped. Another decreased defense champion on the team isn't a bad thing. She's void, so there's no bad affinities for her. She has an AoE attack that comes every 3 turns, which is better than Royal Guard or Husk. On top of that, you know, her other 2 hits are extremely strong too. So I find her to be very valuable anywhere you'd want to use her. She's going to be doing crazy damage. You can see she's constantly doing 225, 250,000 damage, and this team has done almost 70 million damage, which is way better than I've ever done on Hydra at this stage, at this level. So clearly she can play, and I think she's going to be a great addition to any Hydra team you have. If we look at her total stats, she did 43 million. She did 43 million. Geomancer did 14. I mean, it's just glaringly obvious how strong of a damage dealer she can be for your teams. Absolutely insane. In my opinion, she's absolutely insane, and should be at the top of everybody's most wanted list from this point forward. If ever they do a guaranteed shard event for that would be the time to whale out to get somebody. They do a 10 times forward, that I would strongly consider approaching it on that on those times as well. She's just incredibly good. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys as far as seeing how good Acrizia can be for Hydra. Absolutely insane champion with insane amounts of damage. Top tier, just top tier. Might be one of the best champions in this game. I would say at this point in my head, I'm thinking top 5 champion, just because of the utility for Hydra and for Demon Lord clan boss are insane and outstrips the usage of almost every other champion in this game. The only ones I can really think of that would compete would really be Draco and maybe Duchess. I mean, maybe a Siphi. There's a couple champions that are extremely good, but boy, Acrizia is really at the top of that list. She's right up there. So hopefully you guys get lucky and pull her. We'll kind of see how this goes, but yeah, this great champion. Hopefully you guys found this video enjoyable, informative, and you'll keep an eye out for this champion. So that's all we got for today. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Until next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.